Pakistan has been whitewashed 3-0 by the Sri Lankans in the T20 series held in Pakistan. Sri Lanka defeated Pakistan in the third T20 and defended a modest 147. What's significant is that Pakistan is the #1 T20 side in the world and Sri Lanka played a second fiddle side after most of their players backed out, citing a terror threat in Pakistan. Sarfaraz and Misbah-ul-Haq have faced massive flack from the Pakistani pundits who have called the side incompetent. The question is, has the downfall of Pakistan begun with this particular loss? We'll speak to Ajay Mehra and Harpal Singh Bedi on this. Ajay, coming to you first. Misbah-ul-Haq had already gone on to say that, the kind of time he was given as a coach to prepare the team against Sri Lanka was not very much. But on the other hand, like I just mentioned, that this is sort of a Sri Lanka B-side which is playing in Pakistan, and yet they lost to such a team. Do you think it's the pitches in Pakistan, or do you think it's the lack of infrastructure and the fact that the domestic tournaments are also not doing that great?
I think that's one of the reasons, Vineet, very rightly said by you, because the domestic structure in Pakistan isn't as good as if you compare with Australia or India, because a lot of youngsters, they've had issues in the past as well. But I think once you're playing at home, really this loss signifies a lot of things, that something is wrong somewhere. Exactly the statement the coach also made, the chief selector also made, Misbah-ul-Haq, that something is wrong somewhere. And if you're losing to a B side like Sri Lanka, and why we are saying B side is because a lot of the top players didn't go for this tour just because of security reasons. So I think there is something wrong. And if you have players like Mohammad Amir playing in the 11 and being the #1 T20 side in the world, and you're losing 3-0 in your home on pitches that you know pretty well, on the surfaces you have played, as a batsman or as a bowler, exactly the kind of surfaces which are there available in Pakistan. I think something is wrong.
Right, absolutely, Mr. Bedi. And Mohammad Amir, in fact, quit Test cricket to play in T20s. He's not been able to make much of an impact.
It has nothing to do with infrastructure or pitches. It is overconfidence. First thing is that the team has landed, and yesterday, remember one thing, they changed 5 players.
But overconfidence in all things?
Yeah, this happens. And second and third match, this team which beat Pakistan first 2 matches, they changed the 5 players. 5 players who played well. They brought in another. That means it became from B to C or D, it became D team. And still they won. And remember, I have a feeling that if the original team had come, they would have put up a good fight, Pakistanis. But here, in the very beginning, it sometimes does happen. It sometimes happens. What player aaya? Something happened. Now, all the people who are sniping at Misbah-ul-Haq, they are not sniping because they are critics. See, in India, we have nothing else. We can criticize anybody. We have no stakes. All the people who are criticizing those, they want to be there in the place of Misbah or in Wasim Akbar, or he wants to be in the PCB. They have a politics. See, that is a problem. Now, if you listen to them, Ramir Raja or you Shoaib Akhtar, it seemed that they were the world beaters. When they played, nobody beat them. They were all winners. They were not. They also lost as Pakistan lost. But come to the brass tack, is that this has nothing, no reflection. This is a reflection of some continent that to become contemptuous of your opponent. India did it in World Cup against New Zealand. When I was talking, somebody said, why you are covering cricket? It is not your cup of tea, because New Zealand they kaun harega. And you see what happened to us. Same happened to Pakistan here. Totally overconfidence. And then you have one coach. Now, a player cannot go to the coach. He's a chief coach. He's a selector also. Now, you can't go and ask him, what is my problem? There is a Wasim Akram. If you go to him, a coach will say you are aligned to Wasim Akram. The player doesn't know where to go.
Right,
that is a wrong setup by the PCB.
So it's the confusion amongst the players also, which is in fact catching up with the performance of the team. And in fact, we are joined by former India player Nikhil Chopra, who's joining us from the city of Pune, where India and South Africa are at loggerheads. Nikhil, what did you make of Pakistan's dismal T20 series defeat to, a B-side Sri Lanka? In fact, most of the players opted out of going to Pakistan, citing security reasons, and Pakistan also thought that this was going to be some sort of a walkover or a walkthrough, but it was not meant to be. And like Mr. Bedi, somebody you almost always disagree with, also went on to say that T20 is like the lottery. So should we read more into this?
Well, it's not a lottery. We were having this discussion even with some of the other commentators, and all of them were a little surprised, but it's never till it's over. With Pakistan making, a lot of noise saying that this is a B side for Sri Lanka, this is not fair, we're getting our home series back, we must end full strength. Now, that was because you were being overconfident. You didn't even give the opportunity to the Sri Lankans to come and play in their own backyard, and Sri Lanka, when they came there, they beat the Pakistani side. So how can you say that this is not the A side? If some of the guys pulled out, just goes to show what Sri Lanka side is all about, and also, most importantly, what the Pakistan side is all about. Did you see the kind of fielding? It was, appalling, unbelievable. It was as if, everybody had butterfingers, nobody was ready to hold on to catches.
But what did you make of the fact, or what do you make of the fact that, their coach and their chief selector is the same guy? Doesn't that lend a lot of confusion and, a lot of helplessness to a player?
Well, I guess, you put it this way, he can't turn around and say, well, I'm not getting the players that I need to go out there and win games, because if he's the chief selector, he knows, and he's the one who's making the combinations, getting the 11 as well. So, sometimes when you're wearing a couple of hats, you need to make sure that you put your best foot forward.
Absolutely, and Ajay, like Nikhil said, the double roles are usually always, catchy. There could be times when you could be successful playing those double roles, or there could be times that you could make a mess of it. I think Misbah-ul-Haq is in fact gravitating towards making a mess of the Pakistani teams. And in fact, Nikhil also pointed out a very important thing about this match, that the fielding standards were ridiculous.
Vineet, when Misbah-ul-Haq was appointed, the head coach, and of course he was a chief selector as well, he did make a point about the fitness. He said, my first priority is going to be the fitness of the side. And he was talking about all the things, the players are eating, probably like biryani and all. But I think,
the biryani has been banned in the Pakistani locker room.
Absolutely. And that's one area, in the past as well, Pakistan have really struggled. As Nikhil very rightly mentioned, they have struggled on the field, not only in this tournament, in the three matches, T20 matches, even in the past, and that has been a big issue with them. You compare Pakistan side with the other international sides.
Compare them with India.
I think they are probably the worst fielding side if you see out of the lot. Even if you compare with Bangladesh, I think Bangladesh are much better, much superior to them. So I think that's one area they have to really improve if they have to compete at this level.
Mr. Bedi, the World T20 Cup is also going to be played next year. You think Pakistan has a lot of catching up to do?
No, a lot of catching up, but you cannot rule out. See, the problem is...
So just stop eating biryani.
Is that the dictat? First of all, they have to change the setup. Second, and third, this defeat is a wake-up call for them, and it is also a wake-up call for India also. Don't overestimate or demean your opponents, whatever their ranking is. I don't think in cricket, especially in T20, there is a ranking mean nothing. It keeps on changing. So, but this ranking has proved their undoing, because they're number one. That also you carry this burden on your shoulder. So you're number one to defend that tag. And Sri Lankans had nothing to lose. You call them underdog. They proved that they are better than the number one rank. Ranking has no meaning as far as cricket is concerned. You play good, you play well, you win. And as Nikhil rightly said, and everybody has said, the way they dropped catches, and if they could not score 147 given their team, they have a very better batting line up than Sri Lankans. That exposed batting. They did bowl well, but then fielded poorly, batted poorly, and paid the price.
Nikhil, do you also feel that the decadence of Pakistani cricket is something that has not stopped in the last few months? A lot of players, a lot of officials, and a lot of seniors also within the Pakistani system of cricket have gone on to express their frustration at the way things are being run. And with the World T20 Cup approaching next year, Pakistan has a lot of catching up to do, because like Mr. Bedi said, that it is lottery cricket, but at the same time, fitness is something that you cannot compromise with.
Oh, without a doubt. This 120 ball format, you need to be on top of your game. You need to be on your toes. You need to be looking to save runs. As a batsman, you might have a bad day at the office, but if you can go out there, get a brilliant catch, try and save a couple of boundaries, you're in the game. When winning and losing, get decided by the margin of one run. Every run saved is every run earned and made.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's something that the Pakistani cricket has to rule over, something that they have to mull over and contemplate, and perhaps at the end of it, introspect as well.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.